if it was illegal to say stupid things into a microphone.
Why must you be so stupid?
These guys would be doing life without parole.
Hey, everybody, we're back from prison.
Why do we keep encouraging this kind of behavior? It's the Breaking the Ice podcast with Josh Dolan.
You know, we could, go to jail for this.
Along with Mike Shue and Isaiah Moskahana Mana Blitz Moskowitz, whatever the hell his name is.
Are you still not drinking, Mike?
No, I did have a vodka drink over Thanksgiving, and then I went to the Hotel Vernon here in Worcester that was closed for a while because of the pandemic, and they reopened. And
nice.
I love going there because they have $1 Narragansett drafts.
Is that like wicked dive bar that looks amazing?
It's a real dive bar. There are places
I want to go there.
Either call themselves a dive bar or try to make it look like a dive bar, but this place, it's a real hotel.
The real deal.
It's it had a speakeasy in the basement.
Looks like pirates used to stay there
during Prohibition, and you can still go down and see it these days. You got to ask for Madame Rhubarb. That's the code. And then if they have enough,
was
people,
that what it was before?
Yeah,
that's awesome.
And then Babe Ruth had a girlfriend in around the area, and he used to come out here and stay at the Hotel Vernon and drink there and hang out with his girlfriend there.
Really?
Was his girlfriend's name Mrs. Rhubarb?
I don't know.
Mrs. Rhubarb was a man.
They've done some renovations. It's a great place. They have this place called the Ship Room. Yep. They say go to the Hotel Vernon, get a sip of the ship. Nice. It looks like the inside of a ship. It's got portholes in the booths and stuff. It's got a stage. They have bands there. They get it's $1 to play pool.
The inside of the ship of Kowloon. That's still there.
This one's a little dark and it's dirtier, but it's a cool place. So I had a beer. I had to go have a $1 draft there.
Yes.
Just to celebrate them reopening. They're right on Kelly Square too. They're right in the square.
So that place is going to thrive as the Woo Sox keep growing and that area keeps just.
I hope
up.
so, because there's a lot of nice places going in Kelly Square because of Polar Park, which is great. It's great for the city, but I would
keep
also
the originals.
Like people who are coming into town for the first time to get a real taste of what Kelly Square used to be all about.
You want to see real Worcester? Come over here.
Exactly, Josh. Right? Right there at the corner of Millbury on Kelly Square. So
you got to get a historic society to somehow say, don't bulldoze all of it. You got to keep a couple of the orig.
Right.
The OG. Yeah.
It's a great dive, and it's no bullshit,
What was the place where you and I went and got shit faced and we almost got haircuts?
What? Usually it's tattoos. You almost got haircuts.
Oh, we went to where did we go there? We went to where were we?
Must have been really shit-faced.
We had Smokestack Barbecue, and then did we walk down to Nick's?
We started at Smokestack. We went, I don't even know what was happening. I was living in Westboro at the time, and I went to see Mike, and we got fucking shattered.
I think we started at Smokestack, we walked across Kelly Square at night.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And walked down to Nick's.
Almost got haircuts.
Right. Oh, no. You know where we were? They're not there anymore. It was called what was it called? Something like the Line of Scrimmage. It was like a sports bar. Remember, we were in there. We were watching the Avalanche game.
Yes, that's right.
And the bartender loved you because he just couldn't figure out why you loved the Avalanche so much. Right. And so he was super friendly. He was like, "That's real. I've never met an Avalanche fan, and then we went from there and we went to we went to a few. We did Kelly Square, which is great.
Oh God,
yeah.
We need
Kelly
that again.
Square. That's the heart of Worcester right there. Kelly Square.
I told you that time I came out and we went to, I was out there I think I went to St. Vincent's for some shit. I called you and you weren't feeling good, but I'm like, I got to go to this Coney Island thing. He's like, you fucking need to go into Coney Island. And it was during COVID. So it wasn't totally open, but it didn't matter, man. The fucking hot dogs at Coney Island and fucking Dan can probably attest to this. Coney Island hot dogs.
Oh yeah.
Right.
Oh, love a good Coney Island hot dog.
Holy
hot dog Annie's too in Spencer is runner up.
Yeah,
I had never been. We were just talking about a couple of years ago. Mike and I were out and Kelly just getting shit faced and walking around all these bars, which some are still there, some are gone. And I'd never been to Coney Island at all. And maybe 2 months ago, 3 months ago, whatever, I was out there and I'm like, dude, what about Coney Island? He's like, you got to fucking go in there. And it was
at least once.
Money. It was, I think I had
Right.
like two chili hot. I mean, I shit myself like 20 minutes later, but those chili hot dogs were fucking
They have a
awesome.
very particular chili.
I mean, I'm getting so hungry now talking about this. I mean, Shu on the radio this morning, I was listening to you talk about burgers, so I had to go get a burger. Now
I know.
I'm
I
gonna
got to
have
go out to this White Hut place in Springfield. You ever go to White Hut in Springfield, Dan?
No, I've never been. I've never heard of it, actually.
Yeah, me neither. I got to go. Supposedly Thrilla said they had the best cheeseburger in Massachusetts.
Really?
So, you
Pretty
know,
bold plan.
got to.
What were you doing on the show this morning? Were you doing like best hamburgers in the state, or what were we doing?
Well, no, that was a story we did, and then people just started calling in, but we were just like, "What's this White Hut place?" You know,
Is that like White Castle? Probably
and
not
research it. No, it's a lot better. The burgers look a lot bigger and better. So Dan O'Connor, Doherty High School's finest, here. What's going on, man?
The finest. Not much, man. I'm doing really well. Just hanging at home. We got home from tour about like a month ago, and I've just been hanging.
I mean, you got
guys-
quite the setup there. I mean,
Yeah, I know.
Oh,
you,
yeah.
look like, you look like you're in Vegas.
Yeah. Yeah, I got it all set. We've been doing some like Twitch streaming and stuff, so I got it all set up.
Nice.
For that. Yeah.
Nice. How was the tour?
Set up. It was great. It was, it was weird because of everything that's going on, but
Yeah, everything's weird.
we made it all the way through. Nobody on the tour got, had any positive cases and stuff. We didn't have to cancel any shows, so we were fucking stoked.
now
Right.
were these mostly like makeup shows for like shows that you were supposed to do during? the
Yeah,
pandemic?
it was a tour. It was a tour that was booked for, I think it was spring of 2020, and it just kept getting passed down the field, and so we made it up in the fall. It was awesome. Yeah, it was
That's
like
great.
us, a band called State Champs.
Oh, I love state champs.
Yeah, it was a good tour. Real friends. It was a lot of people we're really excited to get out of the house and get to shows and get things going. So it was a good time.
I was going to say that everybody that we've talked to, or whether it's on the podcast or one-on-one, I just went to see Sebastian Maniscalco at the Garden, and everybody's just like, it's fucking so nice to just get out and do the shit that you do, whether you're in a band, stand up, or just to see people. And dude, he crushed it. He could, I hope they filmed that and they put it out, because he just nailed everything that most of us were probably thinking over the past, 2 fucking years. Didn't get too political, but just said the right shit. But how was it for you the first time, like after all this, I can't fucking go outside bullshit, the first good show you guys did? How the fuck did that feel?
Well, we were actually super excited because we got asked to play. It was a festival called Sad Summerfest at the Palladium in Worcester that we weren't supposed to be on. They asked us with like 24 hours notice because one of the bands on there had to cancel. So we were very excited that our first show back actually got to be in Worcester, because it wasn't going to be. And it felt amazing. I mean, getting up on stage in front of like that home, like the home crowd, and just everybody, like the thing that I missed seeing was the hive mind that happens at shows when like the whole crowd is just doing the same thing. It's just the best. That's the best feeling in the world. It was amazing.
It's like you almost
great.
take
It's
it for
great.
granted when it's not there, and then you're back going, I fucking love that.
Oh, 100%. I mean, I've been doing this. I've been playing in bands for a long time, so it's very easy to get jaded and like I hang at home. But after last fucking year, never again. I just want to gig all the time.
So was 4 Year Strong's first gig on an island in the middle of a lake?
Yeah.
Was that your first gig?
Yeah. Lake is a really good, it's very generous term. It was basically
a puddle.
swamp. Yeah. It was more or less a swamp.
Okay.
And yeah, there's a like a VFW style hall it was called the Island Club. And our guitar player's dad was a member of this club. So his sister was like, oh, I'm going to throw a Halloween party. We're like, well, we just started this band. Let's play your Halloween party. And they're like, yeah, sure. We didn't know that. Well, I didn't know. I guess our guitar player knew because he'd been there before, but we had to bring all our gear across in this basically pallets with like kegs tied to the bottom of it that was floating that we had to pull across on like a wire. And it was just an insane experience, but it was a cool first
Something
show.
on like fucking Survivor. Like, if you don't get across, you don't play.
Yeah.
So
the fact that we didn't lose half the gear is insane.
What's easier, loading in that way or loading up the stairs at Ralph's? Which one is easier?
That I'll take the boat. I'll take the boat over the 100%.
Well, that's amazing.
Yeah.
I mean, you guys have toured so much. I mean, 20 years, right?
Yeah.
This is 20 years. That's, I mean, you've like bands are kind of like marriages these days. Like it's a 5-year average here in the United States for a marriage, and a band, for any band to last more than 5 years, 10 years. I mean, 20 years is quite an accomplishment. I'm sure you guys never thought, when you guys were still at Doherty High School, figuring we're still going to do this in 2 decades.
I definitely didn't think that was the case. I mean, there were times during those 20 decades where I was just like, yeah, there's no way this is going to last, more weeks than let alone 10 more years. But
I'm going to kill this fucking guy on Friday.
100%. And like you said, being in a band is like being married, except you don't get to have like makeup sex after you fight. You just get to stay mad at each other and have to get up on stage and play. No, but it's crazy. The fact that we're all still civil, and we're actually closer friends than we are now than we were, 10 years ago. After we became adults and weren't kids in a band anymore, we were able to, maneuver each other's personalities a little bit better.
And had kids of your own.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
So you're a father. Is everybody in the band? Does everybody in the band have kids?
No, just me. Yep,
just
I'm
you?
the only one. Yeah.
So you're the only adult.
Yeah, basically. Yeah. I've learned how to be the band dad as well. So
band dad, there you go.
Yeah.
So I don't know if you've seen the documentary, The Other F Word. Have you seen that?
Mm-mm.
Okay, it's a great documentary. It was put together by I think the singer of Pennywise, and a couple other people, but it's about guys who are in bands. They cover like Pennywise, The Adolescents, US Bombs, all these like punk rock guys, Rancid, and they've got these great careers, and then they become fathers. And so how they balance, what they do on stage and what they do with their kids. Fat Mike from NoFX, and he's like, wow, I got a tattoo of a dominatrix in a latex suit with a dildo. I never thought, I'd have to explain this to my kids.
You got to go to PTA meetings and
right, exactly.
That,
yeah.
Yeah.
So I don't know. How do you deal with that, with being a dad, being on stage? Did it change? Like when you became a dad, did it change what your message was, what you wanted to say, your attitude?
I wouldn't say it necessarily changed my attitude. It's definitely interesting maneuvering like my kids' school, like friends and their parents, when they find out that like, oh, he plays in a band, or oh, he's in what's really strange is when, for instance, my daughter is in 2nd grade and she comes home and she's like, oh, my music teacher is like a huge fan of your band and he's been going to your shows for like years and all this stuff. It's like, oh, that's kind of strange.
Does that mean she gets an A? She gets an A then, right?
That's the grade.
Oh, she better.
Pass my daughter. Come on.
Yeah. But yeah, it's not too bad. Well, the thing that stinks is anytime I go to like anything with like her friends' parents, I have to answer the same like questions like 1,000 times. Like, oh, what's it like to tour? And it's like, I don't know, you fucking living in a bus and everyone stinks. That's basically what it is. It's
right.
Not as cool as you think it is.
You like to smell your own friend's shit for weeks on end because it's fucking awesome.
Yeah. Exactly.
So 20 years, you guys are all Doherty High School kids, right?
Everyone but Joe. Joe went to St. John's in Shrewsbury.
Oh, excuse me. Oh,
Yeah.
very nice.
Exactly.
Up the road in Shrewsbury. Sorry.
Hello.
Yeah.
Wow.
You crossed that bridge. Sorry.
Mm-hmm.
So what were some of the like local Worcester influences for you guys? Specifically, was there any music from the area that you guys, really you looked up to, bands or artists you looked up to?
Oh, 100%. I mean, when but even before I was in 4 Years Strong, I was really into the local hardcore scene and punk scene in Massachusetts. I'm going to, Bane and American Nightmare shows and seeing like Hatebreed in Connecticut and, all those shows. I mean, that's what I was doing from, 7th grade all the way through, high school.
Fucking love
going
Hatebreed.
Yeah. Yeah. Hatebreed, Unearth. I mean, Massachusetts and New England have one of the most incredible heavy music scenes in the world. So we're very fortunate for that.
That shit will never be classic rock. Fuck that.
No, there's no way.
I don't care how old it is. When the fuck is any Hatebreed song ever? Wow, the classic rock station. Here comes Hatebreed, everybody.
Right. Yeah.
Nope. It's just like any Metallica song. Anything off fucking Ride the Lightning. Really, you tell me when Trapped Under Ice is going to be a classic fucking rock song. Not happening.
Yeah, we got to do a holiday run with Hatebreed. I mean, I think it was 10 years ago now, but it was just us and Hatebreed playing like Poughkeepsie. I think we played Connecticut.
Holy shit.
It was Boston. It was a really, really fun run. Yeah.
No shit.
Was that that moment you were like, holy fuck?
There's a lot of holy fuck moments in my band's career. I mean, just the fact that we got the gear across the little pond in a boat.
Right. Holy fuck.
Yeah.
That was the first challenge.
Yeah.
Josh, do we have like a holy fuck button that we can push?
No, we don't, but we can get one.
Right?
Sorry. Go ahead.
I was saying we have a racist cock button on the show, Dan.
Okay.
When when Josh says racist things.
Yeah.
Yep.
But
it's a good button
we should probably get the holy fuck button next. Sorry, Josh. Go ahead. I'm just making notes.
I'm sorry. I was just gonna say, like a holy fuck moment. Was there like a moment that you were like, all right, we're starting a band. This is fun. And then was there a moment you were like, oh shit, I think we're doing it. Like this is actually happening.
Yeah, I think probably the first time. Well, no, because it was terrible. But the first paycheck was like, oh no, what am I getting into?
Two buttons. Holy fuck it. Oh no.
Yeah. No, probably the first time we were on Warped Tour. Was probably like one of the bigger holy fuck moments for us, just because we were also really lucky that the year we first got on Warped Tour was also kind of like the year we were breaking out. So nobody expected, like from like the security on the tour to everybody running the tour to the other bands on tour, no one expected our band to do anything. And every day the shows were just bananas. And it was awesome because I got to be friends with like all the like Warped Tour security guards, because every day I'd watch them all leave the main stage and come over to our little stage because I knew it was about to get insane. But yeah, that was probably the first time where I was like, okay, like I'm on something that I grew up going to, and it's going well. So that was probably the first time I was like, all right, this might be happening.
Yeah, and there might be a few like oh fuck moments. Like you guys are on the Tony Hawk Pro Skater soundtrack, and that's it's a huge deal for my generation. I mean,
same.
No, all of ours. Fucking Tony's our age, and that guy's been fucking destroying it for decades.
Yeah, that was always a big thing for us, is like ending up on something that I grew up with was always just like fucking huge. I mean, we did a UK tour with Blink-182, and we played O2 Arena, which is like 20,000 people sold out.
Wow. That's an oh fuck.
That was insane. And we fucked up the very first note that we played.
Oh, come on.
Nice. It was the perfect way to mess up too, because it was just we did one just choke, and we all knew that it was fucked up, but nobody else knew. And then we're like, good. We got the good one out of the way. So then the rest of the show was awesome.
Right. You got it out of the way.
That was behind you. That was behind you. You were done.
Exactly. Yep.
What kind of I can only imagine this is something that anybody could relate to. When COVID hit, talk about an oh fuck. Like you go from just everything we do, whether we're working in radio, whether it doesn't matter on it. And then that moment where you're told that you can't.
Mm-hmm.
How is that? Like, again, you're jamming, you're doing shit, you're fucking hating each other, loving each other, going through it all. Everybody's kind of taken for granted. Again, you could work in an office or with a band, but that day, I remember the day that my wife and I were at a restaurant, and all of a sudden the fucking governor comes on. It's like, all restaurants are going to be fucking closed. And we're like the waitresses in the place are like, fuck you. What? Restaurants are closed, and they couldn't. Zip, done. Work was over.
Yeah.
Where were you when it was like, we're on tour or we can't go? We can't. What kind of an oh fuck moment was that? Where were you when that happened?
So we put out a record called Brain Pain at the end of February of 2020, and we went on tour. A tour started that same day. It was like the 28th or something like that, and we got to play 8 shows of the tour. And while we were on the tour, we were hearing like, we all left being like, okay, we got to bring like hand sanitizer. That was like basically as intense as we thought it was going to be. Right. And then we started hearing rumblings of like, oh, that California might be, closing venues that are like 5,000 and over. We're like, oh, okay, that's interesting, but it doesn't affect us yet. And then the moment that I heard that sports were being shut down, I was like, oh, we're a sunk ship. Like we're through. And then we started, having these conversations about like, I think the tour is going to go to Texas, and then maybe like it'll skip California and then start again in Ohio. Like that, we were, no one knew it was going to happen. And then we played a show in North Carolina, drove down to Atlanta and had a day off. And that day we started hearing things about like, okay, 500 cap rooms are shut down. And we're like, oh, okay, that's a lot of these shows. And then the next day we woke up and everybody was like, yeah, it's everything's shut down. Like everyone's going home. But at the time they were just like, it's just 2 weeks. That's what everyone was told. Like, oh, it's gonna be 2 weeks. And we're like, 2 weeks.
Yeah. I remember hearing that. Yeah, just a couple of weeks. Yeah.
We just put out this record and like, 2 weeks is going to suck. And then we went home and then 2 weeks turned into like 2 months. And then 2 months, it was like 6 months. And I was like, what the fuck is going on? Like, I have nothing to look forward to. This could last forever. I don't know what I'm doing anymore. I'm like Craigslisting, like, does anyone need, any help stacking lumber somewhere? Like anything.
Can I make a music bed of some sort for you to do something on? Maybe.
Yeah. So that was just insane because, we weren't necessarily worrying about, a year and a half of no touring. We were worrying about the record cycle because we just put it out. We're like, oh, we got all this momentum. We don't want that, but
it just dropped at the end of February and the fucking world closes like 12 minutes later.
8 shows. We got to play 8 shows.
Yeah.
Done.
God.
Yeah.
And for 4 years strong, you guys aren't like played on the radio every day. So that's how you got to get out there, right? You got to get out there and let people know. Yeah. Of course we've got the internet, and streaming services and stuff, but that's the band. Yeah, that's a band's bread and butter, right? Going out there and doing
our main bag. Yeah, for sure. Touring is where everything happens. So that was also interesting for us because, like we said, we've been a band for 20 years. So a lot of the new stuff that all these bands are doing doesn't come naturally to us. So that whole last year, we're like, okay, so let's figure out what the fuck Twitch is, and let's figure out, all this stuff that we're terrible at. Like we're not huge social media guys and all this stuff. And so trying to figure out how to stay relevant during a year and a half of being shut in your house was just.
Wait, I thought Twitch was something you did when you were on coke.
Yeah.
I heard a rumor.
I'm like, all these young kids are twitching. That's all I hear.
Right. We were the same way when I joined this podcast. We were trying. It was like we had 2. We recorded 2, and then that was it. We couldn't be together, so we had to figure out Zoom.
Yeah,
and it was just
you got to go back and watch the first ones, man.
Oh, it was a mess.
The AAF goes off the air. Josh comes over to my house in Malden, and we're like, what the fuck? He brings his gear. We just turn it on and just start going, what the fuck just happened? And we're thinking more because Mike and Carrie, they're all full time and great. Like, what the fuck? We end up calling Mike, and Mike's like, well, I got nothing going on. So we go over to his place in Worcester. We sit down, had a great time. Carrie's like, all right. And we go to her house, and the next stop was going to be Danielle. And we were going to go to her place. We're going to go to her mom's house, but then the same shit, all this weird fucking like, wait, I can't this. And she was like, I don't really feel comfortable with you guys coming over to my mom's house because her mom's older. And that was it. And then we had to come home and figure out this fucking bullshit. And the first few episodes were like, wow.
Well, I mean, some people would say we're still trying to figure it out, but that's true. What can you do?
At the time, though, Josh, think about what's kind of cool is that everybody was having that struggle. So that was kind of a relatable thing. Like work people were trying to figure this out. We're trying bands. All of a sudden, you're like, how the fuck am I going to get my whatever it is out there?
Yeah.
And we're just, cameras this way, sideways. I'm doing mine on my phone. I don't even have a microphone. And everyone's like, this is fucking awful. But it's only going to be 2 weeks. Don't worry about it.
No one had even heard of Zoom.
I didn't hear Zoom.
Everybody's like, oh, we're going to use Zoom. I'm like, what the fuck is Zoom? Is this
Zoom?
An app I have to, I have no idea what this is.
They came out of nowhere. I was thinking like Skype is going to love this. And then everyone used Zoom.
Can't we just Facebook Live? Maybe not. I don't fucking know.
Crazy.
Did you guys learn anything like everybody had to have? I mean, like you said, you basically go home and you're like, okay, where can I fucking chop wood? As a band, once you got into this, it's just like, okay, we're not doing shit. How did you communicate? How did you collaborate, with your art over like the deep months of COVID?
So one of the things that was nice is that most of us are, well, myself and the other guitar player, I live in Paxton, so I'm outside of Worcester, and then he lives in North Brookfield. So we were just shutting our house pretty much away from everybody. So we would get together every once in a while.
You created a bubble.
We created our own little bubble.
There you go.
And so we would get together, and what we ended up doing is putting all of our so we do a holiday show every year at the Palladium, and we knew that we weren't going to be able to do it. So we're just like, all right, we have to do something that matters. So we put together this whole like live stream with skits show and everything. And that took like forever to put together because we had never done anything like that. So a lot of the end of 2020 was us just kind of working that out, figuring all that stuff out, like trying to get the band together so we can actually record it. And like, everybody's got to get tested. But there would be all these like really strange, like little breaks that like we couldn't get together for a while because I have kids. So my kids were just home the entire time, and I have to make sure they're still like learning how to read and things like that.
You were a teacher that day.
Yeah. So between my wife and I, it was, oh my God, it was insane. But you don't want to be a teacher after that? Come on, bro.
Fuck no.
Oh my God. Well, I didn't want to be a teacher before, and
definitely not now.
Yeah, and no one wants me to be a teacher. Let's just put it that way.
That beard is for chopping wood.
Oh yeah,
right.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, we just bent to the will of what was going on. We just tried to, continue to be musical and continue to try to communicate with our fans and just do do anything that we could, put out merch drops, do all this stuff and make music videos, stuff like that. I learned how to edit music videos. So I just started making music videos at home and just trying to do them as like low budget and small and contained as we could. And yeah, that's pretty much what we did.
That had to have been a good feeling for you though. When the people that reacted to it, you're like, I'm at my house. It's one thing when you're on stage and you can see the reaction, but you're at your house going, what the fuck? I'm in my underwear. Are you even paying attention anymore?
Yeah.
And to have them react though, must have been like kind of another oh fuck moment. Like, all right, they're making me sit in a closet and if I could at least get together with my boys and do stuff. I mean, the reactions must have been kind of cool.
Yeah. I mean, that was definitely the thing that we were the most scared of is anyone going to give a shit about us doing any of this?
Do you know who we are? What the fuck?
Yeah. And when we find out that like, oh, people actually do give a shit because I mean,
awesome.
Everybody was shut in the house. So you kind of forget that everyone was going through the same shit all at the same time. So we're trying to figure out what the fuck we're going to do and put out music when everybody's sitting at home being like, I just want to hear music. So everybody was super excited that we're like, oh, okay, perfect. This is working out. So, but yeah.
At least with music, you can do that. Like I got asked to do a few like virtual stand-up gigs and I was like, are you? No, absolutely not.
Like, why did the chicken cross the road? No fucking clue.
Yeah. I couldn't imagine doing something like that. Yeah.
So is that, did you guys, because you released an acoustic version of Learn to Love the Lie.
Yeah.
And have you guys done acoustic stuff before? Or did the performing, recording acoustic come out of this whole thing where you guys were stuck at home or something you wanted to try?
No, we've done acoustic before. Actually, we've done whole tours where Alan and I have like basically like motherboards of pedal boards and we're doing like one of us playing acoustic guitar, the other one's doing something on an electric, and we're putting down guitars and doing all this stuff. We really like doing that and like changing our songs around and making them sound, different than they were originally intended. But no, we've done that for a while. The reason we did that basically is because we want to figure out a way to continue to push this record because, we've had that whole record cycle that kind of got squashed. Mm-hmm. So trying to put out a deluxe, put out a bunch of B-sides on it. We do some acoustic versions of some of the songs and give like a little bit more content to the record and try to, be able to continue to push it and on future tours and the tours that we've been going on. So, yeah.
Is that something that's going to happen? Are you going to do some acoustic stuff at the holiday show now that you get the holiday show back at the Palladium? Or is that just going to be a full-on balls out show?
Well, it's going to be a balls out show, but we're talking about, trying to fit maybe some acoustic songs in there somewhere. They've always gone over really well. We've done some songs acoustic at, the holiday show and like other tours before. Like we'll just take for like one song or two songs. And, but yeah, we're kind of putting that set together right now. And we're talking about doing a couple like that. Yeah.
Now, when you guys play shows in Worcester, what percentage of the crowd hit you up for free tickets?
Right? Oh, I tell people all the time that home shows are like the most stressful day of my life. I don't answer my phone at all on show days. It's
how much are tickets really? I mean, come on.
Oh, they're not that bad. Like $20, $22.
Oh,
but like,
really?
But if someone basically, if you're getting on my list, you already know. Like it's like my parents, like my wife. I got family that's going to come out. And
that's it.
That's pretty much it. So
fuck
most
the
people
rest
at
of
this
you.
point, no, don't hit up me, hit up someone else's band.
You realize I'm in this fucking thing to hopefully make a couple of dollars.
Well, that, and I don't want to babysit a bunch of people all night. I got a bunch of stuff to do.
Everybody that you went to high school with is like, I know Dan.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, it's not a high school reunion every year at Christmas time. I got a job to do.
Is it besides the stress of friends or whatever trying to get into the show, is it a little more is there a little more pressure when you come and play at home?
Yes.
Because the people here and they know you, and so it's like the expectations are higher. Do you feel a little more pressure as opposed to playing in like Des Moines or something like that?
Yeah, 100%. It's I've said before, it's one of the only places where I feel like there's this expectation of what I'm going to do. And we try every year to make it, a better show than the year before. And eventually we're gonna be like, what the fuck else could we do? Like we're running out of things to do. But yeah, I mean, it's one of the most important shows to us every year because, being from Worcester and being from Massachusetts is a really important thing to us. We all love it here. Like we're all going to live and die here forever. And it's something that we've all, expressed as a band. We've put Worcester
Massholes forever.
We put Worcester, Massachusetts on our t-shirts. 2001. It's something that we've always repped. And it's become, a thing. A lot of people travel to it. I know people come from out of state to go to that show, and it's a big thing every year. So yeah, there's definitely that pressure of expectation that we try to.
How many years did you, minus last year, how many years in a row have you done that?
First year we did was 2007 was our first party. So yeah.
And here's how much I pay attention to detail. For the longest time, I didn't even realize you guys were from Worcester until one day me and Shu played 4 Years Strong on the air for a segment Shu would do called Harder, Faster. And he was like, "Oh, good Worcester kids." And I was like, "What?" Because my wife turned me on to you guys. My wife is a huge fan. And I was like listening to you guys for a while. And I didn't realize you were from Worcester.
That's awesome.
Make sure you put his wife Laura on the list. All right.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
She's on.
Not me.
Just
though.
that day of. Hit me up the day before.
See, Josh has no idea. What's that song you're always talking in circles? What is it?
Talking myself in circles. Yeah.
That's fucking him. That's it. He has fucking no idea where he is.
What's funny? We got played on AF once a really long time. One time because our manager at the time was also like the personal assistant of Pauly Shore. So Pauly Shore called into the show and was on like one of the morning shows and requested that they play one of our songs, and they did. And that was like the one time we're like, all right, we did it. We got an AF one time.
Two times. Me and Shu played you. So.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
And I believe that's why they shut us down, right? And then the next day they pulled the plug.
Like, nope, get these guys the fuck off the air.
No, they shut down AF because they offered me a show, and they're like, they've lost it. So
that was it. That was it. They were actually debating putting Josh on a full-time on-air shift and went, "This is fucking done. 50 years, we're out. We're selling the station to God."
I had no idea what they were doing.
I remember Pauly Shore came in. I was working there. Did he? Well, he probably called in a few times, but he came in.
He came in a few times.
Yeah, but I was in the fucking bathroom and all of a sudden I'm at the fucking urinal. Up comes Pauly Shore. I don't know if he was on some fucking weird drugs or whatever, but he was just like, "Dude, what's going on?" I'm like, "I'm taking a fucking piss."
He's just Pauly Shore, man.
Pauly Shore. He was doing the whole MTV fucking shit right there at the urinal. I'm like, right.
He was wheezing the juice right there.
Right, exactly.
The kid grew up in a comedy club,
Right,
so
right. He's always on, everybody.
So have you guys had any awkward? Have you guys played live, like television, radio? Have you done anything, stuff like that?
We've done some smaller stuff. Never like on actual like syndicated radio or anything like that. We did one show like TV show on, I don't even remember what fucking channel it was on. It was some like extreme sports channel, and they had some show that I'd never heard of before.
ESPN 97.
And they had us on to like play, a couple of songs, and I don't even know where you could have watched it, but we did it. And yeah, that was it.
Listen,
yeah,
if you want to play a song right now, this is going to hit a global like market. If you want.
I got to tell you, Dan, there's at least 8 people that are going to watch this.
Mm-hmm.
That's the 3 of us.
Buy tickets.
The 3 of us twice. Our
and the rest are in North Korea. So
if you want to fucking play a little acoustic something, we'll,
I can't without Alan. I'm broken. We're a duo. I can't sing a whole song by myself. So
well, we do have an idea now. We're thinking about, because we haven't been together since fucking Christ came back as a carpenter or whenever the fuck it was. We're thinking about doing a podcast somewhere in Worcester live. Maybe we can get your band to play.
Yeah, absolutely. We would definitely do that. Yeah,
I was shooting for a Hotel Vernon since they reopened.
Do it.
They got the ship room. They're renovating the ship room.
Yes.
Dollar drafts.
The key thing is it only holds a couple of people because no one gives a fuck about us. Maybe you can bring the crowd. We'll just yap, and then we'll drink.
Yeah, that's it.
Josh, what do you think?
That's a very good business plan.
Done. Can people still get tickets for the show? Or is that thing fucking sold out?
No, there's still some tickets left. It's selling pretty good, but there's some tickets left. We always hold some for day of anyway. Because
for Josh's wife Laura, who's a fan.
Yeah, well, there's a lot of people who travel and don't pre-sale, and they've been doing it for years, and so we always hold like 100 tickets or something for the day.
You ever think about doing what the Dropkick Murphys do, and they play like 10 shows in a row?
Right.
I would love to do that, but the amount of people would just get less and less and less over those 10 days. Yeah,
you start with 1,000, and then there's 2 people at the end of the tour. So
yeah exactly.
What's like the weird, besides the island and the swamp? Like, what's the weirdest place you guys have played? Because you've played all over the world. I mean, you guys been in parts of Asia I didn't even know bands would play. Like, didn't you guys play in Jakarta?
Yeah, we played Jakarta,
Indonesia?
and that was actually one of the ones I was going to bring up because we played. So we showed up there. We didn't know nothing about where we are. We just got somebody who's like, "You're going this way." We're like, "All right, cool, we'll follow you." And we show up to the venue that we're going to play. It's an outside, just a stage, like in the middle of some courtyard thing. They have all these guys on stage setting up all the sound gear, and I can tell that none of them know what they're doing at all. Like where they're like how they're setting things up. Like I'm telling them like, "Oh no, this goes on. This is the head of the amp." He's like putting it off the stage. Anyway, so we finally get everything set up and we start sound checking on stage, and I can just see, because we're up super high and we're outside, all of a sudden I see people running towards us, like with their fingers pointing, like they're yelling. And I look at the guys and I'm like, I think we should stop playing.
Americans.
Stop playing. And as soon as we stop playing, we can just hear like chanting from like for everywhere that you can see. And apparently at, I don't know what it is, like 3 o'clock, 2 o'clock, 12 o'clock, at some point is like prayer time.
Oh, they're Muslim country.
Yeah. So
everyone's prayer time.
Everyone stops what they're doing, and we're like, all right, perfect time to sound check. And we're outside in the middle of Jakarta.
Oh my God.
We're like, oh, we're done. We're not making it out of here. But
off to a good start.
The only time we play here.
To tell us that we shouldn't be playing at noon.
And you're on stage thinking like, is music illegal in this country? Why are they so?
Yeah, I have no idea what's going on. I just saw a lot of angry people running towards us from the distance, and I was like, I think things aren't going well, guys.
Oh my God.
The show actually went awesome later.
So the show actually it went well. Like
the show went well.
There's a scene in Jakarta.
The show. I mean, it was like 1,100 kids going absolutely bananas, like just jumping all over each other. We played a show, I think the day before that in Bali, which was also just insane.
Nice.
It was one of the more surprising tours that we've done because we had absolutely no expectation, and it blew all those expectations out of the water. It was just insane.
Well, when the expectations are zero, it's pretty easy, right?
Yeah, right, exactly.
You're good.
It's amazing how we take it for granted. We're so inundated, saturated with entertainment here in the United States.
Oh yeah.
And we forget that, people in Jakarta don't have bands playing every single night of the week in venues all over town.
Oh
You
yeah.
know, it's a pretty rare thing.
Oh, they were all very, very grateful that they don't get a lot of bands over there. So when we came over, they were all super excited, super stoked that we were there.
That's why you see that. I think it was like the last Rolling Stones documentary I saw. Like they go to other countries and it is a fucking shit show of, yes, everyone loves them in the States here, but it's a religious experience.
Oh yeah.
When you go somewhere else, because they probably don't get that all the time. And you bring a band of that caliber. If you could play anywhere tomorrow that would just make you, obviously the Palladium is awesome, but anywhere, what would the best venue be? Like you'd be like, oh my God, this is the Taj Mahal in my mind.
Oh man. That's tough for 4 Year Strong. I mean, Chicago has always been like an amazing place for us to play. One of the most incredible shows that we've ever played was actually in London at the Roundhouse. Such a cool venue, and that's just definitely like a really cool vibe. That's one of those like shows that like sticks in your head because just the way that the crowd looks in that just round room is just an incredible, thing to see. So I'd play Roundhouse, play London. We haven't played London and played the UK in forever, so we're jonesing it over there.
So a venue in your head that you've never played, that you'd be
that we've never played.
That would be the fucking shit to play there. Now, being from Mass, it might be the Garden.
That would be one. Yeah, the Garden would be cool, or Madison Square Garden in New York too as well would be cool. I'm a big fan of anywhere that, like some cool show in history happened. Like that's like a big thing for me. Like I love being like, man, I'm on the same stage as this guy who played that show on this day, and
because I'd go back. The Roundhouse has so much history. I mean, Zeppelin played at the Roundhouse.
Yep.
I mean, there's so much history at that place.
Yeah,
that's unbelievable, man.
That's why I like it. In my head, I'd think things like the old Boston Garden, like the original. Yeah. Think of the fucking Beatles played there. Mm-hmm. Like shit like that must be kind of cool to be like, oh, I wish I could play. Or
I mean, talk about history. The Hampton Beach Casino Ballroom, the list of people that have played there, like Jimi Hendrix and like Zeppelin, I think played there. It's insane to think that they were, getting fried dough and playing that show.
I liked Limp Bizkit at fucking the Casino Ballroom back in like the fucking whenever mid 90s, late 90s. Big fucking toilet bowl on stage.
I remember that from Ozfest.
And it's the Hampton Beach Casino Ballroom though, so it's not. And he fucking has the toilet and there's shit pouring out of it, and he jumps out of it. I'm like, this is fucking not George Thorogood this evening.
Or I think it was like maybe a Family Values tour or something like that. That was at the Palladium when like Rammstein was on it, and I think Limp Bizkit played. They had like the cages on stage. They had like a jail cell kind of thing on stage. Yeah, that was awesome.
The best cage was back when I saw the fucking Beastie Boys. They released License to Ill in '89. So I'm fucking just graduating high school. Maybe I saw them on the '90 tour, whatever. And they were as fucked up as the day was long. I think I saw them at the Worcester Centrum that year. And they had can't do this today, apparently. They had cages with fucking strippers in them, and they're fucking just whipping beer bottles. They didn't sound like the album when I saw them, but I knew it was the Beastie Boys because it was 3 white rappers. But oh my God, the fucking girls in the stages. I'm like, they can't do shows like that anymore. I don't think.
That was the tour of the giant inflatable penis.
Yes.
Yeah. Have you guys, Dan, ever done like, do you guys ever have something like that? Not the penis, but like some kind of prop or something. Like, did you ever have a Stonehenge moment on stage, like from Spinal Tap, where something just went horribly wrong?
Not too much. We've had, our production usually is just like lights and backdrops and scrims and stuff like that. We never had, like a cool prop piece. That would be fun. That would be dope to have. There's been a couple tours that I've gone on that have had some like really cool things like that. We did a tour with Good Charlotte like years ago, and they had some really cool like prop things on stage. And we tour with a band called Less Than Jake a lot. They have a dude with like, he's got, they have a whole like mascot thing for him, and he comes out on stage. It's insane. It's such a crazy show. Yeah.
You guys have toured with a lot of people. Like you said that you were touring with Blink-182, right? Who's like your favorite band that you've toured with?
Oh man, we've been lucky to tour with some fucking amazing bands. Like not just as musicians, but like as people. I mean, we've toured with, there's some bands that we've toured with like a million times. I mean, like Take It Back Sunday or Bayside or Newfound Glory, Starting Line, all the bands that like we played with, especially when we were younger and coming up, and they took such amazing care of us. There's way too many bands to name that were just treated us like fucking gold, that were just amazing for us to tour with. And that's awesome. And it's really cool to be able to tour with a lot of those bands, because now that we're, you know, headlining shows and we're able to bring out a lot of these, you know, smaller bands who grew up listening to our band, we have, you know, someone to imitate on how to actually treat, you know, younger bands that are coming up, instead of treating them like shit or, you know, being like, this is our shower. It's like, no, we're all here together. And it's a cool thing. We've had that. Soap. Yeah, exactly. We've been on tours where it's like you get treated like shit. I mean, one of the tours that we were treated incredible was we did a tour with Rise Against, Bad Religion, and us. And
nice.
They were the most amazing people, so amazingly like gracious, and just shared everything with us. Like, we didn't feel like an opening band. We just felt like one of the other bands on the tour. And I mean, that tour was fucking incredible. I mean, playing with Bad Religion every night is just the coolest thing in the world.
Yeah. Those guys are super nice. And they, you know, it's those guys that like had to blaze a path for everybody else, you know, and they realize, you know, they don't forget, you know, what they had to go through.
Yeah.
You know, to make it for other bands to follow behind them. And the Bad Religion guys are very much like that. They're very cool, down to earth guys. Yeah.
And awesome. It shows that they cut their teeth, you know, doing the exact same thing, and they remember what it was like to be that band that's opening up a show. And I mean, like Brian Baker was like one of the coolest guys like on the tour, just like giving me tips on guitar gear and just talking about random shit. Like, it was just unreal. So cool. Yeah.
That's cool that you can now, at this point in 20 years of 4 Years Strong, you can give maybe other bands their oh fuck moment. Yeah. You know, which like, is pretty awesome.
Oh fuck. I used to look up to this guy. Shit.
Fuck. These guys are jerks. Oh God. Well, we're looking forward to the holiday show. And the Palladium is such a special room, man. You know, and there's something about the Palladium. I mean, I remember when it was EM Lowe's, and I saw like the Ramones there and Motorhead. I saw George Thorogood there, and I saw George Carlin there. They used to have seats. They used to have seats on the floor there, and a whole bunch of other bands. And there's something about that particular room. I don't know if I'm biased because I've lived in Worcester for so long, and
a little bit.
Yeah, okay, I'm a little Worcester biased, but still, there's something about that place that has a spirit in it.
I couldn't agree more. I actually, I worked there too when I was in high school. I mean, like 4 Years Strong was still, you know, the band that I was in, but I would, you know, on the weekends or any of the shows that I wanted to go to, I would bounce and work security at the Palladium for like tons of amazing shows too. So that was like the coolest thing for me is, you know, I went to, you know, every show ever there. And then eventually they were just like, okay, you're a little too intense here. So you either have to work here or you can't come here anymore. I'm like, all right, well, I'll work security. Sounds good. Because that's the other cool thing about the Palladium is they've always been a venue that understood, like, especially for hardcore shows, like why people are there and like, and that you can trust the crowd to, in a lot of circumstances, maybe not so much now, but at least back then, to police themselves and to take care of a lot of those situations themselves. They've always been, you know, a venue that let a lot of things happen that a lot of other venues would just think it was too much of a liability. And that was one of the reasons why there were so many amazing shows there. Like the fact that, you know, I saw like Bane play a show there and they like downstairs Palladium and they took the barrier out and just allowed crowd surfing. It's like, that's and like stage diving. It's like that. No other venue would allow that to happen. No. You know what I mean? But yeah, it's always just been such an incredible place. I've seen so many amazing shows there.
Yeah, but it's also like the people that work there, like you say, it has more of a family thing.
Yeah,
going on as compared to a lot of other places that I've been to anyway. And you're right. It's because those people are either fans of the music or they understand the people coming in there.
Yeah.
And I think that's why they make it special. So when were you working at the Palladium?
So it would have been 2000 and probably 2000, maybe late 2002 to like 2004 or 5, somewhere in that.
Oh shit. No. Did I ever tell you to fuck off?
Oh, Jesus.
I hope not.
Probably not me.
That's that fucking asshole shoe from AF.
I lived there those are the years where like I was doing the metal show at AF and I would be there. They were booking tons of shows, like great shows. And I was there almost every night. And then it got to the point where I was like shit-faced every night at the Palladium.
You had your own locker there.
I know, right? It's like, oh, here comes Shoe. Oh God. Hide the whiskey.
Jesus Christ.
I was definitely the security guard who worked there more to go to shows and just I wasn't getting myself involved in like you would have never had to tell me to fuck off because I would have made it to already have fucked off before it began. So
you weren't like an amateur boxer that was there to like work on his jab.
I would catch kids and then I'd be like, all right, I'm the fuck out of here. I'm not getting involved in anything else. That's it.
I'm just here to see the show.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, it was really fun. I got to see some really cool shows there. I mean, I would not work shows that I wanted to go do. So probably a lot of the shows that you were at, I probably wasn't even working because I was participating, like hardcore,
front row.
Like all those things. Like I would have been in there. Yeah.
But Shoe still could have told you to fuck off, even if
that's true.
Those are my heavy drinking days. That was just bad
very
days.
aggressive.
He was still a dick.
Were you working there when Rammstein played?
No, I wasn't. I wish that I was. When they got like banned, right? They didn't have like
the singer
stage that would shoot on the thing, and
the singer got arrested because he whipped out a giant fake. It looked fake,
Yeah.
And kind of fake peed all over I think it was one of the keyboard players. He brought out on a leash and made him hop up on a road case like a trained dog, and then he peed all over him.
Good.
And and there's fire and everything. And then like the next morning, it's like, hey, the singer from Rammstein got arrested. It's like, for what? It was a fake penis.
That was another
legit.
That was another thing that COVID fucked up. They were supposed to come back and play Gillette, right?
Yeah, it was like
yes.
It was like one of like 4 shows they were doing in the US or something crazy like that. And the show was so huge that they had to use Gillette.
Yeah.
There was so much fire, they needed to use Gillette Stadium.
I would have loved to see that happen. Hopefully someday. Right. Yeah.
That show is actually what almost got me kicked off the air because before we went into commercial break, I said those Germans love fire. You're like, what are you doing?
Oh God, right. Yeah.
Wow. I was like, sorry, sometimes I forget there's a mic.
We got a talking to on that one. Yeah. Well, Dan, it's really great talking to you, man. It's great to see Worcester guy doing well and still representing Worcester,
Yeah,
it's great that you stuck around.
Yeah, thanks for having me on. I mean, I grew up listening to, a lot of you guys on AF, so it's really cool to be able to chat with you guys now. So thanks for having me on.
Yeah, well, thank you.
Yeah, thanks so much.
Good luck with that holiday show, man. That sounds like it's going to be a lot of fun.
Thank you. Yeah, let me know if any guys want to come out. I'll pick up my phone for you guys.
Definitely do.
Only
that's it. Can we all get a bunch of free tickets or what? No, I'm joking. Have fun that night, brother.
I'm definitely going to try and go to that because I still haven't been like to a show or a sporting event since the pandemic. So
yeah, man, you should come. Hit me up.
Get outside.
Yeah, come on.
I have a
Josh.
baby now. I mean, right when the. What do you mean? No.
Get a babysitter.
That's what the grandparents are for.
Jesus Christ!
Come
you have
on.
2 sets of parents. Use them.
Yeah.
Then you got to drive them there.
Oh
Oh,
wow!
you're just
Have them
excuses
drive.
now.
You've got the grandkid. You can hold it for ransom.
That's true.
No, you come
Right.
here. Yeah.
Do you want to see your baby granddaughter?
Yeah.
All right, I'll
Come
see if
to
I can
my-
get a babysitter, and I'll see if my wife lets me drive with her to the show. So
Come on.
That'd be
All right, well,
really
if you're not gonna go, tell Laura to call me and we'll go out for beers.
Right. Exactly.
I'm going.
Okay.
What I say, Dan? That song? That's Josh's life.
Yeah.
Fucking.
Oh,
song.
can I just? I'm sorry, I forgot to ask this, man. And the song, it must really suck to be 4 years strong right now. Was that written in response to a bad review?
So it was written in response to there's a band called Set Your Goals that we were friends with.
Okay.
We were all coming around. We were coming around the same time, and we were really good friends with each other. And AP Magazine did a review of their record, and it was a good review. But for some reason, they decided at the end of it to say, all in all, it must really suck to be 4 years strong right now. And I remember the guys from Set Your Goals like called me up. They're like, dude, I don't know why they said that. I'm like, first of all, I don't care. But like, yeah,
They mentioned us.
It's annoying because there were a lot of AP specifically, but there were a lot of, different press things that were trying to like pit us against each other. And we were like friends. So there wasn't going to be anything there. So we decided in response to name a song, because we were in the studio writing our next record. So we decided the opening song of the next record was going to be called that.
That's fucking awesome.
Who wrote that review? Loudermilk?
Yeah, right.
I don't remember what his name was.
Have you seen Loudermilk?
No.
Dude.
Great.
It's on Amazon.
Man.
We've had a bunch of the guys on the Jackie Flynn, local comedian, a bunch of Ron Livingston, who was the lead guy in Office Space.
Okay. Yeah.
And he did Band of Brothers and a bunch of other movies. It is fucking dark and funny as shit.
And he's a washed up music reviewer.
Loudermilk.
Yep. And
he's like a recovering music journalist. So he had like too much fun hanging out with bands, and now he's like in recovery and stuff. And
he's running the recovery
music.
circle.
Yeah.
He's running the recovery circle too. And he's exactly right. He's a recovering alcoholic. He's basically a recovering fucking asshole too, because he was a dick of a Rolling. Did he work for Rolling Stone?
He wrote for everybody, but he was like, he's a total dick, but he owns it. And it's a good show. There's a ton of great music in it though.
That's cool.
You've seen Office Space, right?
Oh yeah.
Okay, so the second half of that movie, when he gets into that, I don't give a fuck after he was hypnotized. Loudermilk is that times 50.
Okay. All right.
That's kind of how I
I
don't give a shit, and it's really good. And we're hoping. I haven't seen anything on Jackie's Instagram. Like they did 3 seasons. No, 2. Two.
Yeah.
They did 3, and they're waiting to get picked up for the 4th. And it's good. Loudermilk's good.
That's rad. I'm definitely going to check it out for sure.
He would like your band.
Yes, he probably, yes. That would be awesome. We should talk to who was it wasn't Noonan. Who was the writer? Jimmy Dunn.
Oh, Jimmy Dunn.
You should say, hey, slip some 4 Year Strong into Loudermilk, into the soundtrack, because there's tons of great music in it.
That's cool.
Awesome.
No, but get them into that little coffee shop, playing a couple acoustic songs, and he walks in and goes, "Oh my God, listen, we don't want to write your 4th fucking season, but we can help." Maybe the reason you're not getting fucking picked up is because you're not fucking playing 4 Years Strong. Jesus Christ.
That's probably it. Yeah.
So I tried. Pro Skater
I knew this podcast had a purpose.
Well, thanks a lot, Dan. We appreciate it. We'll see you at the Palladium.
Yeah, of course. Thank you guys. You have a good one.
Thanks, man.
Thanks, man.
This is Brad Marchand, and you're listening to Breaking the Ice with Josh Dolan. I don't think he would ever let a pizza get out the door before he buried the whole thing, so he likes to eat that kid.